what's up? Yeah. I thought I'd pop on here and let me tell you why. I wasn't gonna actually do a video right now. I'm still feeling pretty bad. But we are going to talk about this for a second. Obviously, and I'm gonna leave the chat up because this is what this one's about. I'm gonna show everybody some space weather stuff that's going on. Also, give you an update on all that. But I think that maybe, obviously, we're talking about Google being down, right? It's working now. Let me explain a couple things that I figured out rather quickly that was happening. This was not an isolated, like, countrywide type of thing. Now we're going to look at some space weather stuff because I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, because actually that could play a part in what happened. I'm not saying that it did. I just simply do not know yet. I'm sorry, but I'm going to skip the hellos today. I'll say hi to the first ones in here. Tam, what's up? 210 knowledge. I think I seen, yeah, Muse is in here. Good to see you in here. Arizona Raven, good to see you. I started, when I seen this, hey Hilly, what's up? Yeah, Hilly, it was down, and I'm talking big time down. It wasn't just something that was just regional. I got kids, and you know that when something like that goes down, I know immediately because they do. But you could get, let me say this, Google wasn't completely down. You could not go in under your account. If you went into YouTube, because YouTube is owned by Google, if anybody knows that. If you went into YouTube, now this is a trick that you guys can use for the future. Okay? So, please listen to what I'm getting ready to say. All you got to do, and it worked, you can go into Incognito Mode. If you do that, you will not be able to access any of your personal stuff, Gmail, anything. Google Docs was down. Anything Google, okay, was down, including YouTube. Except for you had to go in the back way. If you had a URL that you could go to, like say, here, I'm going to show you what I did, okay? I'm just going to show everybody. A lot of you guys probably know how to go into Incognito Mode anyway, but I'm going to show it to you. That way you guys can at least have access to the videos that were already there. Because those never went away. You just couldn't get there through your account. So let me show you guys how to do that. If you go over here, and you can just pull up YouTube, right? Right now I'm on my page. It doesn't matter, but if you go to YouTube, and you go to boot it up, and you're signed in, and something like that happens, it won't let you do anything. Go over here to the three dots, click it. See this right here? New Incognito Window. Watch what happens. This is what it tells you. You've gone incognito. So what happens there, then you can type in YouTube. And there you go. You can access everything. But the thing is, the reason why it's giving me this stuff right now, it wasn't earlier because this is like what it's recommending me because of what I've been to before. You won't get that. Alright, if it's down, if the service is down. So, the internet was on. Alright, this was a Google thing. This thing just blew up on Twitter like immediately. Just so everybody knows. I think I can, let me make sure, I don't want to shut this live down. Okay, I'm gonna kill this one right here. Alright. YouTube down. Let's kill it. I hate to do this, but let's see here. Yeah. Alright. Alright, everything's still fine. So I wanted to show you guys how to do that. because if you know the channels and stuff that you still want to go watch, that's what I would, Man, we got people in here being jerks already. Yes, you can. I just did it. You can't edit your good. Yes, you can, Mr. Reborn. I just did it on my live. Let me show you something, guys. I'm gonna show you guys something too. People that's trying to say that, you can't. I'll just click on YouTube right here. And if I go over here, and this is what you're gonna see me. This is what I have to do when I go live. I go over here. I click this little button here. Hit go live, right? It's going to try to pull up another window. This is what I get. Now watch. See that little edit button? It's going to go over here. And if I hit edit, this is what my last description was, my last title, my last thumbnail, any of that. It's still there. I can edit it right now and start another live stream. I'm not going to, but that is what that is. Yeah, it wasn't just, believe it or not, Spartan, it wasn't just 503. There was a lot of different little errors going on there. There was an error 500. There was some other crazy stuff going on. Now, why am I even talking about this in any kind of like coincidental way? What's going on? Yeah, it's back. Everything's working, or I wouldn't be live, just so you know. My thing here, guys, we have to understand what's going on today. I mean, specifically today. If anybody watched my last video from last night, we're going to go look at some stuff, and I haven't looked at it yet, so I don't know what I'm going to see. Okay? So that's what we're going to do right now. And I could have looked at all this stuff because it wasn't these other sites. This wasn't anything but Google, which makes me think that this wasn't really space weather related in any sort of way. I'm actually thinking about this on the other direction. And what I mean is everything that's happening right this second around the world. Specifically here in our neck of the woods in the United States. Okay? Yes, massive density. That was extremely strange, and let me show you why. This is Space Weather Prediction Center. I take you guys here all the time. I looked at this a little while ago, before all the YouTube stuff went down. There was absolutely no uptick in the geomagnetic activity. I'm not understanding that whatsoever. And there could be a really good reason for it. I just simply don't know. The ACE data, obviously, it still had picked up this really high density reading at over 100, 172. I've never seen a density reading that high. Okay? Our magnetopause models went freaking nuts. The Enlil model shows nothing like that. Okay? That doesn't show anything. Let's, let me pull that back up. Yeah, let's do it this way. Okay, so now we can go look at, well, I want to look at that real quick. If we go down here, we look at the auroras. You would think with the density reading of 172, there would have been some sort of aurora increase. No matter if the BZ is wrong. Okay, the BZ could be in the positive, but with the 172 density reading, I would still think our magnetopause and our geomagnetic activity would react. Our magnetopause did. but the geomagnetic activity did not go up at all. Matter of fact, it went down. And I'm not seeing, well, you see what happened just there though, guys? I think it missed time. This is what I'm trying to talk about. Something was going on here. It definitely missed time. And it missed time right around the time we were getting that density reading that was all jacked up. This shouldn't do this. Okay, so if we look at the timestamp, okay, it's at 4:05, 4:10. Okay, yeah, it jumped from 4:15 to 6:15, right when that density hit us. Why are we not seeing this on this at all? We're not able to see that time frame. Let's go look at some other stuff. Now, again, I don't know how they do this aurora forecast, where they get their data from. But I wouldn't think that it would be something humongously crazy to be able to get some data somewhere to give this something to go off of, without having to have it from like stereo A or something. It wouldn't be from stereo A anyway, because that's nowhere near the Earth. But maybe it gets its data. I don't know where it gets its data from. What's it say? I need to find that out. Because if it comes from like Go 16 or something like that, then maybe that's why. But Ace picked it up too. This is why, you know, I did this in my video yesterday. Oh my God. Man, I just don't feel good, guys, at all. Let's go look at the Australian model again. This is really what convinced me that something was really going on. Alright? And by the way, if I go down, just know it's not me. It's going to be YouTube going down again. Hopefully that won't happen, but we'll see. Well, did you guys see that? Look, guys, I'm telling you, something is not right. I mean, I don't want to say something's nefarious here. That's not really what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that something happened. There's too many things here that are not adding up. You know, and YouTube, this YouTube outage thing may not have anything at all to do with this, okay? It probably doesn't. But I'm not even talking about the YouTube thing right now. What I'm talking about was the actual space weather tools, which has nothing to do with Google, okay? If it was a complete internet outage, then it might be a space weather related thing. But this space weather has nothing to do with Google. I just wanted you guys to know that Google was back up, and that's why I did the live stream. That way you can still get to what you want to go see. And I wanted to show you guys how to go to Incognito Mode. But while I'm here, I'm going to talk about the space weather stuff that's going on too. And why it's kind of strange that all this stuff is happening all at once. Because we got, let's see here, we have the big total solar eclipse that's happening in the south, you know, down there in South America. Okay, look at this. 172 density. Typically I'd say, man, that's a mistake. But I back up some more, and we get a 25 right there, prior to. So what was happening there was we probably had some sort of density shot coming at us that was only just like very, very short-lived, okay? And it hit us here a little bit, and then a few minutes later, the brunt of it hit. And I showed this to you guys last night. So I'm still not sure what caused it. Nobody knew it was coming. Nobody. Okay? But I don't think space weather or anything like that had anything at all to do with the Google outage. Okay? If that was to happen, if it came from like a power outage, like from space, because that's what you would see with space weather, okay? You might see some disruptions on local servers and things, but that would, or regional, but it would not be like massive like that. If it was massive on Google, it would have hit Facebook, Twitter, everything else if it came from space. Just so everybody, I'm going to make that perfectly clear. Okay, so and so when we're looking at this, we have to keep that in mind. Now, you know, I don't know if Google was scheduling any sort of update or anything like that. They could have. I didn't get any like email or anything like that on it. You know, usually, especially if you're like a YouTube creator, they'll send you an email saying, hey, this is going to be going on. Just pay attention. Something might happen. Who knows, right? But I would think something this massive that happened right there, they would have told everybody. And nobody was saying that, you know, yeah, it's working now. But I wanted to show you guys like I said, the main reason I popped on here like this, and that's why I made a thumbnail like, why is it out? That way I could explain to you guys that I don't think it was something that was space weather. And I really don't think it was real. At this point, I don't think it was like nefarious or nothing. I don't have anything to say that that's why. All I can say is that there is things going on today that we need to pay attention to. And that would be stuff like, here, I'm going to show you guys how to get in incognito mode again for those that just came in. I don't know if you guys know how to do this or not. It's the only reason why I'm doing it. Because if something ever does happen like this, that ends up being something they didn't expect, I still want you guys to be able to get to whatever you want to go see. Alright? I will here in just a second, bud. Mr. Goody, I'm going to. So, if we go over here, guys, to the three dots. Well, I started a new... I should have logged out. But, if you go over here, click the three dots. If it's down, you'll come here, and this will pretty much be a blank page. You have to go over here, hit New Incognito Window, and it'll give you this. And then you have to actually type in the URL. Just type in YouTube, if that's where you want to go. But you will not be able to access any of your subscriptions or anything like that. Okay? I just want to make that clear, guys. Again, I'm not saying that this is something nefarious. I'm not saying it. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you guys right now, I don't think this is space weather related. And I understand that's probably what people are coming here to see, and I want you guys to know that. I don't think it was. Because if it was, let me show you why, okay? Let me, wow, I got a lot of stuff open up here. Sorry. I need to close out some of this stuff. Is that by itself? Yeah, let's close that out. Let's close that out. We'll close that out. So, no, this guy's not falling. Oh, bye. Forgot it was you. You come in somebody else's chat room, trolling on somebody else's channel. Hilly, will you throw a wrench at that, please? Or I can do it. It don't matter. I just want everybody to know that the wrench I'm getting ready to use right here was only because people follow you around when you're just trying to have a normal conversation with people. I don't care about your sock counts. I really don't. Thank you. You can come in here with as many as you want. I don't really care. They'll all get axed. I don't really care. I don't. Yeah, you can whatever. I wouldn't have done any of that to you anyway if you're still listening. Just so you know, and I'm not going to waste much more breath on you anyway, because if you follow somebody to another channel, that's a little crazy. Just saying. Especially a channel that has nothing to do with anything that I do here. I was just trying to spread some positivity, and you come up in there with some negativity, so, that's why. Yeah, who cares? I don't even care. I'm sure it'll pop in here with another account. But anyway, we're going to move on. Let's go. Let's see here. Boo, 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 boo. Trying to see. I thought I had my down detectors up here. But anyway, we'll just do it this way. Hey, Kenley. Your Discord's not working? I'm not sure if that's... I don't think that's ran by Google. I don't know. Yeah. Oops. You got it, Russell. There you go, bud. If you guys don't know Russell, you guys need to go, check out his channel. He's doing a lot of good time-lapse videos over there. He's looking out over Lake Huron. He's starting to post those time-lapses. It looks good. Looks good. Yeah. It's okay, guys. Really. I just don't. I just don't even. Yeah. And the thing is, this is why I don't typically even address it. One of the reasons. Hey, what's up, Blind Fear? So, let's, trying to find down detector real quick. Let's go here. I'm not even gonna look at, I'm getting a little distracted here, so, obviously you guys know I do, so. Let's go to... Okay. Well, right now they're saying they got a pretty massive one here. Whatever that, it's in Europe. Looks like the United States is kind of coming back up, which makes sense. So yeah. Yeah, it wasn't. I am the light. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody here. It's I just want to give everybody a heads up, and let everybody know that I don't think it was space weather related. I really, at this point, I don't think it was nefarious at all. Now I don't rule that out because I just don't know. But let me show you this right here. This is down detector, right? Now we can. I encourage everybody to have this because you can do this for any service. Down detector it's free. So if we just go to, well, I'll just back up here. We could probably just go to the thing here. And it's just going to show me YouTube because that's what I typed in. So I type in, let's just say Facebook. It'll give me the same thing. See how Facebook's not having any problems? Now, it is, maybe they're using some Google services or something here, I don't know. But the same area is high here a little bit. It's elevated, but they're not really having that many problems. You know, and again, guys, you're going to see the higher areas on here around the major metropolitan areas, the highly populated areas, because that's where most of everybody's using the stuff, okay? That's why you see it like that. Now, you can do it for Twitter, which I know Twitter wasn't really having any issues. Oh, shoot, that took me to... That's Twitter again. I don't want to go there. Yeah, there you go. Now notice again, you're seeing the higher areas in the same kind of spaces, but again, those are highly populated areas. But we are seeing a more of a outage, I guess, or issue over here. But they're not reporting any kind of like mass anything, okay? So it's not nothing that people need to freak out about, and that's really why I popped on here, okay? So... what's going on here again? Yes, Google is back up. Yep, it is. So yeah, I just really wanted to show that to you, but we're gonna go look at something before we get off here, okay? I do want to give you guys a little bit of an update on what's happening. We're gonna go look at the MagnetoPause models and see if there's anything going on right now as far as what we seen yesterday. Now, I can tell you right now that the density here is kind of a little strange looking. So's that. That hit last night, guys, was really something kind of nuts. I didn't expect to see any of that at all. Now, what I'm seeing right here, we've seen it look like this before, so there's nothing to be concerned about, okay? It doesn't mean anything other than that there's more density hanging around out here, okay? And that would make sense if we took a big density hit. You can see how the speed out here is normal. We took a density hit, so that's why the density's messed up. That's it. See you, Tammy. Have a good day. Third in line. Everybody else, I just want to say hey. Yeah, LCJC, yeah, I'm not going to get into that conversation. That's something that, doing okay, Russell. She's doing okay. Man, I'll tell you. Yeah, you know, I mean, the guys, because of my title, that's probably what's going on. I think I got on and I got live probably quicker than most anybody because I was just sitting here when it all happened, when it all came back up. So I just went live real quick. I just wanted my people to know. So if you guys are here and you're new, thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. You can hit the subscription button. You know, I report on space weather stuff and other things like that, revolving on that kind of thing. I'm not an educated man whatsoever. I don't have any kind of degree. I just try to do the best I can with what I've got, and you know, that's just where it's at. So that's what you'll get here. So anyway, yeah. Let's go look at the other MagnetoPause models though, because I do want to see the one over at ISWA. That one there is the one that we can actually look at the You're welcome, Chris. Yeah, I know. Because it was. That was not clickbait whatsoever. It was down. I wanted everybody to know that it wasn't something that was space weather related, number one. I really did want everybody to know that. Because that's really where people's mind goes, especially people here that come to my channel. And the reason why is because of what we talk about and what can happen. Now, this is a good example of how not to like make a real big knee-jerk reaction on something. Because, number one, it's back up. Number two, nothing else was down. It was just Google for the most part. Now we know why was that a big deal? Well, because there's a lot of things tied into Google. Okay? I mean a lot. I mean, just think about what you got personally. You know, you can't, and the reason why YouTube was tied into it was because they're owned by Google. So that's why. It has nothing much else to do with anything. Yeah, it was only YouTube, Richie. It really was. At least as far as I know. I was able to access everything. And let me say this too. It wasn't YouTube as a whole. Because I showed you guys how to get in there. I'll show you guys again. Okay, right now. Just so everybody knows. It wasn't YouTube as a whole. If you go to YouTube and it's what just happened a few minutes ago happens again. All you got to do is come here. And this probably will not look like this. It'll look different. Because this is what your normal page will look like if you click on and you're logged in. Alright? Or you're trying to go in under your account. But it might say you can't log in. It'll give you like a 500 error, 503 error or something. You just go over here, click Incognito Window. It gives you that. And then you can go here and type in wherever you want to go. There's Google, so if we go YouTube Home, you can get into YouTube. Now from there, you're not going to be able to access anything that you got that's personal, like your subscriptions, any of that kind of stuff. Okay? So just know that. But you can still get in. So the site itself was not down. That's a misconception. You can still get there, look at everything that was always there. You can go there if you know where to go. You go in incognito mode, you can't go in as anybody's account. You just couldn't log into your Google accounts. That's pretty much what it boiled down to. So, you know, that's just kind of what... I just want everybody to understand that, okay? Because I don't want people, like, freaking out over this, and that's why I popped on here, because it's nothing to freak out about. We just have to keep our head on a swivel with what's going on around the world altogether, right? And with that being said, you know, I don't know what others are going to say about this, but I would be very timid to take this down a extreme road that doesn't need to go down. This wasn't down for like 24 hours. It wasn't down for anything like that. It was down for a while. But it was something that was very short-lived. And here's the thing, though. The only thing that does kind of get in my craw here is the fact that they did not... If it was like a predicted, like, or a scheduled thing, they should have been telling everybody. And I would have thought if they did tell everybody, this would have been like widespread news. And I didn't hear nothing about it. I didn't see anything in my emails, anything in my feeds telling me, unless I just overlooked it. But regardless, it's not a huge deal. But I want everybody to know this is how we decide if it's space weather related. And I don't think it was, because it would have hit all platforms. It would have been hitting internet stuff all over. It wouldn't have just been power, probably more likely. I don't want to go that far with it, maybe, but because we can have server issues from space weather without having power outages. We've seen that before. So that's just what I would say there. Now, to go back to, just to give you guys a little update on what's going on with, let's go back here to ISWA, if I still got it up. I don't. Hold on. How does it happen? I don't know how it happened. My guess is, well, I'm not sure I want to make a guess, because I don't want to lead anybody down the wrong way there. You know? So let's just X out all this. Sorry, mods. You guys are probably in there completely just hammered. I'm sure people are saying some crazy stuff in there. I kind of knew they would. I really didn't know. I didn't know if anybody was even going to be on here, because I got kind of on here real quick. And maybe that's why people are showing up, because nobody else was out here with it yet. I don't know. Let's, I'm going to come here for a minute. I just want to, oh my gosh. Huh. Oh, I must be in there incognito. What's this one? Okay, we'll try this one real quick. I'm not sure if that's incognito. No, it's not. Okay. But yeah. Yeah. Sorry guys about that. You got people in here being crazy. It's alright. It's okay. It really is, guys. It's alright. Just, yeah. Wow. Well, people came up in here real quick, didn't they? There is something I'm going to do, just so you guys know. I'll probably turn the comments off on this video, just because of what I'm seeing over here. They'll just get in there and be crazy. And I'm not even, here's the thing, guys. Show the down chat. Slow down the chat. Yeah, I guess I could. Oh, goodness. I'm not sure if I know how to do that. I've never had to do that. It's up here, probably. Who knows? Oh yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, let's just move on from that. Yeah. Yeah, guys. I mean, at this point, if they come in here and start dropping, yeah, see like that, just boot them. Don't time them out. Just kill them. Just get them out of here. Okay. Don't delete. If you guys just go in there and hit hide user, it'll delete all their stuff anyway. Okay. I'm probably going to end up into the stream here in just a few minutes anyway. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time out here. Let's go back here. We'll take a look at this. It's unfortunate that people have to be like that, but it's okay. You know? They must have not been loved very much as a child. I don't know. Hate to be rude like that, but that's... Sorry. I don't know how else to say it. I'm usually like... You guys, and that's the whole thing. Like with the guy that came in here earlier, said he had a bunch of sock accounts or whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that, you know, I wasn't doing anything last night and then trying to spread positivity on somebody else's channel. And, I never would have even have done anything to him. He was in here giving me all kinds of crap yesterday, and I let it, you know, I just let it all go. I talked to it. As a matter of fact, I even addressed him for a minute. But it is what it is. It's okay. I just don't. I just don't understand why people want to be negative like that. But it's just me. I even allow them to have a voice here. I do. And they don't get that anywhere else, I guarantee it. Other people just boot them right away. I don't. There's other people that hang around that have realized that I'm not here to do anything to be mean to anybody. I let them have their say as long as it's respectful. Even if it's going directly against what I think or what I'm saying. Because I think that's important. I think we've lost that as a country. I really do. I'm not about canceling anybody. Which is why I try to have such a free area here for people to come to. But here's that. That's the same hit that we seen yesterday, guys. Okay, there's that big one that hit. And then really just little stuff after that, which is probably just residual. Okay? So I'll show it to you guys again real quick for those that didn't see my video last night. Okay, so I get on here and I already showed you guys the Australian model. So I don't think this was a glitch. Okay? So as we're looking at this, the sun's off to the right. For people that don't know. And if we go here, you see that? Now that was a very, very massive like hit all at once. And how I know that is if you look at our bow shock, you see how it's got a nice little soft bend? Like that? And if I go forward, watch what happens to it right at the beginning. First, we're pushing out because we're starting to sense it. We're starting to react with it. Right? You see how we pushed out there a little bit? And then we get hit. Bam. Now, see how that flattened out? We usually don't see that flat line like that intense. Usually the whole thing just kind of bounces back. But this was not like that. This was a pretty decent looking little hit. And then we go forward to that. That's how fast. In 4 minutes, from that to that. So, yeah. No, I'm not, Jim. Not at all. Sorry. I'm glad you asked. I really am, because I'm not a scientist, Jim. I'm just somebody that's trying to understand what's going on. That's it. It's really that simple. Thank you for asking in a respectful way, though. I really do appreciate that. And I get it if you don't agree with what I say. I really do. It's okay. Come on, guys. We can't be, saying anybody else's channel names. Okay? Thank you, Hilly. Yeah, there's my link down there if you want to do that. But anyway, see how we did this? Okay, we get hit. Bam. That's called compression. All the way around. I mean, that's all the way into our satellite line. That's where this dotted line is where satellites are orbiting. Most of them. A lot of them. And then we push back. Okay? It's called rapid expansion. Here you go, Jerry. Good one. Rick, yeah. Well, thank you, Sonny. I think it says your voice is nice. I'm not sure if it meant... Yeah, thank you. You know, I appreciate everybody. I really do. Thanks, Kathy. I really do appreciate that, guys. Guys, I'm human just like anybody else. And I would be lying to you if I sat here and tried to tell everybody when I get all that negative stuff that it doesn't bother me. You know, and unfortunately, you know, people just don't care. They don't. That's what you see. Those people don't care. And when they want to come in and just be completely rude, they can come in and disagree all day and I leave them here. But when they want to be rude, I don't understand that. I mean, I do understand it, but I don't. For me, I could never. I couldn't do that. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. We got hit. Bam. We push back out, and then we do this. I mean, but the thing of it is, guys, what we're seeing right here, this is exactly what I would expect to see with a hard hit. Okay, we got to understand that when we get hit like that, it's going to mess us up for a minute. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a, catastrophic this, that, or the other. Because obviously it wasn't. We're all still here. I'm talking to you. And that's exactly what I'm saying, right? So this is a good example to show people how not to take it way crazy right at the beginning when we see stuff like this. Because we're going to see this more and more. Candace, good. Love it. We're going to see this more and more. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, you're right. We do have some come up. We've had a lot of fireballs. I show that all the time, Jim. I'll show everybody here in a minute how to go look at that. But anyway, we take that big hit, and as we get further and further along in the sun cycle, and activity and intensity, continues to increase, we're going to start seeing this day after day after day. So, we get this. This is what we're going to see, guys. Now, I don't know that we're going to see this exact thing, because what was strange about this, number one, absolutely nobody knew it was coming. But I want to say something about that, too. That happens sometimes, guys. Just like when they don't see an asteroid or a meteorite that's coming, and it passes us, and then they talk about it 3 days later. They cannot catch everything. So when we look at this, the blue thing pushing from behind, I seen that kind of popped out there. Let me look. You talking about this up here? Whoever said that. Let me pause it. And when we're looking at this, I think what's being talked about there is this. I'll show you. And it could be an optical illusion to the fact that, because you got to know what you're looking at here. Yeah, that's it. Now, remember, the sun's off to the right. Look at the direction of the arrows. It's pushing from right to left, which is what it should do. If we go forward, we see these two little blue sections start coming closer to each other like something's pushing from behind, but it's not. Look at the arrows. All this is telling you is the density of the particles are becoming about the same as what this is. Okay? That's why. It can be very deceiving if you don't know that. So if you see the arrows that, if we were getting pushed from behind, these arrows would be going that way. Not that way. So see how that happens? So when we get the big hits like that, now right here what you're seeing, if it's symmetrical, most of the time that is what we call a rebound effect, that our magnetopulse just does that. It hits, and as listen, when we take a big hit, we push back. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're pushing back. So what that does is that even means from behind. Let me explain. You see how these, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this. I don't explain this often because it really doesn't come up all that often. And sometimes it's hard to explain. So this is just a good way to explain it to people. We get hit, so we start pushing back. So it makes sense that some stuff back here would be going that way. And you can see it. It's symmetrical. It comes in, it grabs right here, and circles back in. And it does the same thing up here. See that? If we were getting pushed from behind, this arrow right here and this one, all of these would be pushing to the right. So that did not generate from behind us. You can see it. Watch. See? We didn't start doing anything to the right until we got hit. And then, what we were getting hit with from the sun direction, winds. Look at that. Everything's going to the left. So what I'm saying is, yes, that was a massive, massive hit. And for us not to really see any kind of movement on the geomagnetism graphs and stuff, and I want to explain that real quick too, because I want to be perfectly clear here on what I'm saying. This right here, when we got hit, you would think that it would bump up, but let me explain something. These are 3-hour graph bars, okay? So they can't just take one data point and throw it way up here. Okay? That's not what's going to happen. That we would have to have a consistent over and over and over thing to affect us geomagnetically for these bars to go up over a time period, not just one little smack. Now, how do I know that? Well, if you look at the ACE data, we got one smack right here. That's over 100. So it makes perfect sense what we're seeing here, is what I'm trying to say. So we did get hit. And it probably didn't hit us magnetically. It just didn't last long enough for it really to affect this averaged graph bar here. It didn't last long enough. Oh yeah. Share anything like that. The Eclipse live stream? Yes, please. I'll tell you what. Hold on a minute. I'll make you a mod for a second. There you go. You can drop a link if you want. I can leave you the wrench. I don't really know you too well yet. I know you're in here, Mr. Goody, quite often. So I just haven't really had a whole lot of conversation with you. I apologize for that, but you can keep that wrench if you want it. But yeah, you can. No, I don't have merch, Jerry. Guys, I pushed against all that for a long time, and I'm just now recently allowing a PayPal link, and I do appreciate everybody's help. Hilly put it in there a few minutes ago. It's in my description. Believe it or not, guys, it does help, and I don't come out here with no pity party. I'm not going to do that to you guys. I won't do that. It's just something I won't do. I don't think this should be about that. I think for me, at least for me, people that are doing it for their job, which I don't, that's different, okay? They have to do that to survive. And let me tell you something, too, guys. Please understand that anybody... Hey, Forcing, what's up? Anybody that is on here thinking that people in this genre are getting rich, let me correct the public misconception on that. Back in the day, before Adpocalypse happened on this platform, I'll say, people were making some good money. But then they did that. Then they started controlling all that, putting it into algorithms and all this other kind of stuff that was, it really killed their paychecks. So a lot of them couldn't survive doing it. And that's why everybody started going over to other private networks and things like that. And that did work for some. But for the most part, anybody in this genre had a hard time because of the subject matter we're talking about. And I want people to understand that. So when you want to judge somebody for putting, trying to do ads or trying to, get sponsors and things like that, I'm not going to come out here and say that that's a bad thing. I don't do it personally for my channel because that's not what I do. I don't do this for a job. But anything I do helps when I get stuff. And I'm not going to, say that it doesn't, because it does. And it's so much appreciated. But I just want everybody to know that. Just understand that they're not getting, people have had to go back to doing their, real life jobs other than, I don't want to say YouTube ain't a real life job, because it is now. Didn't used to be. People work hard at this. I know now. I didn't understand it at first until I started running my channel. And it's like a second job. It really is. So when I pause this and I grab this, this is like showing x-rays, guys. This is what we look at for flares. And we didn't get any x-ray increase when we got hit, or it would have shown up here. Okay? I wanted to show everybody that. Cool. Hey, Mr. Goody just put a link in there, guys, to the Eclipse live, I guess. I'm sure I knew that one of them was going to be out there. I just wasn't sure which one or where it was going to be. Let's do this, because we can go over here to spaceweather.com. They do a great job over here, guys. Please give them some love. Go visit their webpage here. You know, they're talking about the meteor showers, okay? We've had a lot of kind of crazy, strange things, and here they're talking about the eclipse here, too. Let's see here. A lot of times they'll drop in a link for something like this too, but you guys see where this is at? That's where they're going to get the full eclipse down here. And, you know, it's right over part of the South Atlantic anomaly, which probably really doesn't mean a whole lot of anything, but it just is. There's a magnetic, people that don't know what the South Atlantic anomaly is, there's a magnetic anomaly down here that doesn't really react the same way the rest of our magnetics do. Oh yeah, there was something else too I wanted to show you guys. Hold on just one second, because I do want to mention this, because I think I might have pinned it to one of my last videos. I can't remember. Let me see if I can't find it. Sorry for the... Well, I'll just do it this way. Hold on a second. Okay, this was the comment, okay? Remember when we got hit the other day? From that we were wondering why we didn't get hit real hard from that big Halo CME. You remember that? This is what I want to say. Somebody dropped a comment in here, and it really helped. You know, this is what I was trying to explain. I just didn't put it in the right words, and this guy put it in words that was just perfect. So listen to this. This is from Art Darnell. He says, this CME actually helped our magnetic field by sending positive charged particles, okay, which filled in the cracks in our field. Had the polarity been reversed, remember we talked about the phi angle, which is a solar wind, it has a polarity, right? And whenever it flips, it does certain things to our magnetics. It jerks on us. But because the CME had a different charge, the polarity had been reversed. If it had been reversed from what it was, it would have been devastating to our magnetic field. So the polarity wasn't right. And it actually helped us. That CME actually helped us deflect all that crap. So I hope that helps. And thank you, Art, for putting that in there. I commented back, you know, exactly correct. I was trying to put that in words for everybody. I must have not made that clear, and I didn't. I went back and listened to what I was saying, and I did not make it very clear. I failed in that aspect. But that's why I listened to you guys. That's why. That was an awesome way to put it, Art. Thank you. I mean, oh, there you are, buddy. Good. Thank you so much. That was a really good way to put it. You know, a lot of people don't understand that can happen. The polarity of it really matters. When we're talking about the BZ, this here, when we're talking negative and positive, we're talking about angle, right? The phi angle, that's the polarity of the solar wind. It does flip quite often. So sometimes we're going to get hit harder. If we have a negative charge coming at us, that's pretty much how I understand it. That's what really gets in. That's why when we look at the negative up here, that's why we talk about that. If it's in the positive, it's actually, you know, like Art said, it is deflecting it and it's kind of filling in the cracks there and it's kind of blocking it. kind of crazy how that works, but it's magnetics, and that's what we're talking about. It's not, people think of solar wind and CMEs like something's actually blowing like wind at us. It's not. It's charged particles moving. That's what you're seeing, okay? Yeah, Jim's asking Mr. Goody to post that. Thank you guys so much for doing all that. I mean, it really helps me, especially right now, guys, when I just haven't been feeling the greatest. I just haven't, and I'm sorry that I haven't been on here as much as I usually am. I just can't be right now. Like I said, I can't even go up a flight of stairs without losing my breath right now. I've never experienced it like this before. I literally could not put my shoes on yesterday. My feet were so swollen. I mean, and that's kind of, and the thing of it is it's not just in my feet now. It's actually worked its way all the way up my legs. My legs are, yeah. And I don't like sharing that with people because I don't want people to feel sorry for me at all, period. And I shared it with you guys yesterday a little bit because I wanted you guys, because you guys kept asking and I care. I know what it's like to be on the other side of that, caring about somebody and them not giving you any kind of information. That sucks too. So that's why I did that. That was the only reason I even brought it up. So I hope you guys understand that. Yeah, Jerry, I have. I used to wear them all the time when I had cellulitis real bad. And again, guys, I had, like I said, I used to weigh over 500 pounds. And I had bariatric surgery, and I lost over 200 pounds to help with this. I've always been a big guy. Yeah, thanks, Russell. I appreciate that. I will, Laura. I will, guys. I'm not going to... Hey, Axe, what's up? Yeah, I know. People... It's funny, Axe, because people look at that... They look at that and they think, oh my gosh, old people, right? Well, yes, more old people do wear those because it affects older people more. But it doesn't just affect old people, guys. It's just a fact. When we're talking about compression stockings, people don't know. You can get them in different colors now. Didn't used to be able to do that. It used to be like black, white, and like a skin color, like a tan. But you can get them in actually different like striped colors and stuff now. That's actually kind of stylish stuff. They've done that because they realize people don't want to wear them because of the way it makes them look. So, yeah. Hey, you're welcome, Mr. Goody. I appreciate all my mods, and I wouldn't give somebody a wrench that I didn't think could do it. Just so you know. I appreciate everybody, and believe me, like on streams like this, you've seen that I needed every one of them. That's why I have so many. But yeah. So anyway, that's why we didn't see that big, because it was only one little single hit. But it doesn't mean we didn't get hit, and I don't think that it caused much of any issue. I didn't see anything, okay? And let's, something else that we can talk about real quick is the fact that, guys, this is what we're supposed to do. When we get hit, this is what the earth is supposed to do. Boom. We push back. It did its job. Let me tell you why it did its job. If you look right here, this never gets any further in. So it deflected the majority of it. Okay? And, because it gets in like that and we push back. The earth did its job. Or her job, whatever you want to say there. Right? So we're pushing. And if you look at this, you guys see what I'm seeing here? Do you see how everything is symmetrical? I mean, down to the letter. Look at this. Okay? So, this is what we would expect to see. In magnetics, it's very predictable. So when we get hit like this is what we should do. Now, sometimes we don't see it quite like this because it can actually be kind of like rotated towards you. Like, pretend that's the center, and you can rotate it like towards you or away from you, like in a circle, like in a clock face. Sometimes that becomes at the wrong angle that we're looking at it, and it won't look as symmetrical. But it doesn't mean that it isn't. So just know that. Now, when we get hit, guys, the earth pushes out in all directions. It's not just going to push out in one direction. It does. It pushes back. And sometimes, you know, we're like a capacitor. We'll build some energy, and once we get full, we can't hold it. It has to go somewhere. So sometimes the earth will actually react and shoot stuff out just when we get overflowed with the energy part. And usually it's not that big of a deal. We'll get a little hit in the front, which is enough to like push us over the edge, and we'll discharge it. And a lot of times it looks as though it goes out the back, and there's a reason for that. It goes out the front too, but it actually kind of will hit the edge and run into the solar wind, and then it'll kind of circle back around and go out. Okay? When we discharge, we're not going to overcome the solar wind so much that it makes it all the way back to the sun. Okay? That's not what I'm saying. Eventually, the solar wind will win that battle, and it'll push it back out behind us. We just kind of deflect it off to the sides. That's really what we're doing. It goes around us. But make no mistake, there's stuff that happens in other places in space that sends energy from different directions. Behind, down, up, left, right, all of the above. So that's how it bypasses the solar wind. That's how it gets into our magnetosphere sometimes. Without being affected by the solar wind a whole lot. So just know that. That's another thing that I don't explain very often. But that is something that happens. When I see that this isn't directional, I automatically think that, or when it isn't symmetrical, I automatically think that it's directional. It had to come from some specific direction. And even, guys, we can get a directional hit from the sun also. If it's a glancing blow, just think about this. Let me back this up a little bit. Say we're sitting here just like this, and the solar wind comes in, but it's coming in just on it's just going to graze us. If it grazes us, it's not going to affect us down here as much as it is up here, right? So even though it's directional, sometimes it can still come from the sun. Just would like to say that. No, Iron Fist, Dave, not at all. You're not going to get that kind of conversation here. But here are the near-Earth objects. Now, notice that we got 62 fireballs yesterday. That's what was reported. These are the known asteroids, and it looks like they might have added one here. Let's look. How do we know if they added it? Well, we can go back to the previous day and see if it was there. So we got one here on the 16th and the 18th that are fairly close. They're inside lunar distance, which is the distance from us to the moon. So we'll go back up here and we'll look at the 13th and see what it says. See if it's there. It could be. I'm not sure. It is. Okay. So we'll go back another day. Well, we'll just go back 2. We'll go back 2 and see if it's there on the 11th. Okay. Yeah. See how neither one of them on the 11th were plotted? So they didn't plot it until probably the 12th or 13th. And I'm not really sure how they do their data collection here. I would assume that if they see it, when they see it, they post it. But I guess I could be wrong on that too. Now see, that's where they added that one. The 0.1, they added that one on the 12th, I think. And then on the 13th, they added the one on the 18th. Yeah. Okay? So that's when they added them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they were... what I'm saying is they're not doing nothing nefarious there. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes they just don't see them. Now, I've said this before too. I truly, honestly believe that if we had a huge one coming at us, that they're not going to tell us. And there's a lot of reasons for that. You know, you don't have to be talking about conspiracy theories there to believe that. There's a lot of really intelligent reasons why that would happen. You know, could you imagine the panic that would happen? I mean, honestly, would it do us any good? But I want to say this. I don't agree with them intentionally not telling us something either. Because that's just not, you know, I don't think that that's the right thing to do. You know, we can handle it, those of us that are, and I guess what the worry is, those people out there that freak out, like completely freak out over stuff like that. So yeah. Hey Jeff, what's up, bud? So let me show you guys this one more time. Wow, guys. Man. Well, I didn't expect all that. That's why we got so heavy with the trolls today, guys. People just can't handle somebody just trying to be honest, I guess. I don't know. And being just who I am. I do want to show you guys this again, okay? If this happens to you guys again, if you guys get on your Google accounts and this is happening, it doesn't mean that necessarily that Google's down. Okay, so to access YouTube in a situation like that, you go over here, go to regular YouTube. Now, when I click on this and go into YouTube, I'm logged in right now, right? So if it was having issues, you would probably see an error screen here. And you go up here and you click the three dots and you go into open a new incognito window. You're basically going into YouTube to look at some videos that you're doing it without being logged into your account. So with that being said, see it says you've gone incognito, and then you type in the URL that you want. You don't really have to type in the whole thing. Just hit YouTube, and they'll take you here. But now look what happens. None of my saved stuff is here. Now, you might see some of the videos I visit because it still kind of does recognize the stuff that I go watch, right? But this is how you get in. Now, once you get here, you're going to have to know what channels you want to go to. If you don't, you're not going to get there. So, so when you're in incognito mode, you got to know where you're going. You can't just, because right now, if I was to type in subscriptions here, hold on a minute, I'll show you. This is what you're going to get. I'm not signed in, so it's going to ask me to sign in. And when I do, I'm no longer in incognito mode. And if they're having issues on YouTube, you're not going to go anywhere. It's going to kill you right here. So that, I wanted to come out here with a video like this to let everybody know that this was not a space weather related thing. This was not anything other than something happened at Google. Whatever the reason is, I'm not going to, try to even discuss that because I don't have any information that I can confirm or anything like that. So just know that, okay? And let me tell you guys the first clues you guys can look at. If you come and you're doing this, and the first thing you go to is YouTube and it's doing this, right? What do? Well, you go over and you check out Facebook, you check out Twitter, all those other internet platforms that doesn't use Google. If they're having issues, then most likely that's going to be a global type of, or at least regional type of, like, total internet thing. That's happened before. Internet outages. I got that one right. I'll show you guys that one. I'm going to show you guys how to go look at this stuff too real quick too. If you go to, I'll put this link in the chat real quick. This is just power outages right here. Okay, it's going to take you guys just to the power outages in the States. I don't have this for the whole world, sorry. But you can click on the states. It'll tell you which ones are down, what counties are having the issues, and how bad, right? So that's what you'll get there. Now, if I type in YouTube outage, outage maps, down detector, that's the best one to go to. It says problems at YouTube. Okay, now it looks like they've got us fixed over here, but they're still having issues elsewhere. Whatever that issue was, whether it was a scheduled thing or whether it wasn't, I don't know. So that's what that is. Now, if you want this for something else, just type in, like over here on the search, type in Twitter. Oops. Okay, there it goes. So I can report here too. They've had some reports here. So maybe they had a little issue, but nothing like what we were talking about earlier. Let's go to Twitter. Outage maps. No problems at Twitter. Okay? It'll say the same thing right now for Facebook and everything else. Okay? So I did all that just so you guys could see it. I would, guys, I would put those things on my desktop. I had them there on my desktop. I don't know what happened to them. I'll have to put them back, but what's up? I'm not sure if I know you. I'm sorry. Yes, YouTube was down. Well, I don't want to use that word because it really wasn't completely down. You just could not access it logged in. All the videos and all that stuff was still there. You just could not log in and get to anything. I don't know. It had to be some sort of error. It had to be some sort of update. Oh, is it happening live? Wow. Mr. Goody put that in there. I know he did. Where did he put the link? It was way up here. Yeah, I can't go back that far. But yeah, guys, I'm sure you guys can go watch it on the replay. Space Weather might actually have it too. Let's look here. That's not going to be a live feed though. So yeah, guys, I mean, that's what's going on. Don't freak out about it. I just wanted to show you guys what was actually happening and why. I think why. It could have been an update. It could have been something that was planned. But I cannot, I can't say any of that was any kind of nefarious anything. All I can tell you is that there are a lot of things going on today. But with all the other platforms being up, I don't see it being anything like that. That's all I'm saying. I don't see why they wouldn't just kill all of it. If they were going to do something like that to kill that kind of information going out, they would have just killed it all. It would have been an internet thing, guys. It wouldn't have been just one specific platform. Okay? But so in the future, if you get on there before, kind of making the assumption that YouTube is just gone completely, you can do that. You can go into Incognito. You can see if it works in there. If it isn't, then go check your other platforms. Okay? That's another good option to do anyway. Because if those are still up, you can still communicate with everybody. And, yeah, they were talking about that, guys. I really didn't want to mention that, but, yeah, that was a news story yesterday. The Department of Our Money, I'm not going to use that word, they were hacked for months. They were actually the hackers were actually watching movement. It's crazy how they didn't, but yeah, I'm not going to get into that article. But that's true. That's very true. So yeah, it is, Jim. It's very frightening. That's something that's, yeah. But yeah, I think that at this point, I wouldn't call this anything like nefarious, but I also don't rule that out because we can't. We can't be that naive to think that they wouldn't do something like that if something was happening. We also got to understand what's getting rolled out today, guys. What's getting rolled out today? I can't say the word. You know, that liquid stuff that they put in a sharp object and they stick it in your arm? Ask yourself this too, and I'm just going to say it. Why do they need tanks to do that? Just saying. That's just a question I've had. But logistically, I wouldn't think they would need that to roll something like that out. But, you know. And I ain't saying that anything's going on there. I just don't know. I can't prove anything. I don't have any information to share with that. I don't. I'm seeing everything that you guys are seeing. That's it. That's where my research stops with that subject. So I don't have anything to add there other than I would pay attention. That's it. Yeah, exactly, Angelo. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on right today. That's what I'm trying to say. We had some big, massive, like, density hit. Just a short-lived one last night. This issue with Google today. And then they're rolling this stuff out. The stuff that they put, you know, the liquid they put in your arm. We got the eclipse happening. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. Now, I'm not really saying that they're related. I'm just saying there's so much going on right now that it can be very confusing for people. Okay? And we have to understand how we need to go about this. First thing we have to understand is there is absolutely no fear. Okay? So just know that. Anything that you look at, just don't have the fear. So it's easy to get wrapped up into that. But also look at it with open eyes and an open mind. Okay? Because the information that you're going to get from MSM, it's not going to be exactly 100% correct. We know this. People that don't even do what I do here or anybody else here on the internet understands that. There are narratives being spun all over the place and we know it. Now, even in alternative news, the stuff here on YouTube or anywhere else you go, you still got to be careful where you go. Because sometimes people will go too far with it and other times people will just ignore it. It's a hard thing. And that's what the biggest problem is, guys. Everybody is confused. Everybody. It's hard to dig the truth out of all this. So what do we do? What do I do? You want to know what I do? I look at everything. I don't let it scare me. And then I watch. I do my little preparations that I've done already for myself. I'm comfortable where I'm at in that aspect. I encourage everybody to get themselves to that level to where they're comfortable if something was to happen, they're okay. In their own minds. I can't tell you what level that is for you. I don't think anybody can. But take all the information you can get and see and research on your own. get something in your mind, some sort of a idea of what you need to have or what you need to be prepared for. And try to achieve that. If you're working towards something, you're not scared because you're acting on it. And once you achieve where you're at, go one step further and stop. And then step back, keep your head on a swivel, and watch. That's all you have to do, guys. And I promise you that fear will dwindle down to almost nothing. Now, there's a difference between being concerned and being in fear. There's a difference in paying attention and being in fear. There's a difference in spreading information and being a fearmonger. There's a huge difference. When you put it out there in a way that is it for no reason but to try to scare people for clicks, that's wrong. Okay, it just is. No matter how you chop that up, that's wrong. So, if you're going to share information, do it in a way that lets people make their own decision after they see the information you're giving them. Give them access to what you go look at. Give them access to anything that you're looking at as far as the information and the research you've done. Show them what you did. And tell them, like I do, don't believe a word. Go read it for yourself. You will understand it better if you do that. I get asked that question a lot. What do I do to make sure that I'm okay? Well, I just told you. Do I think it's smart to not do nothing? No, I don't. I think you need to do at least a little bit of prepping for anything in life. Not necessarily the big, SHTF event. I'm saying you need to be sure that you're prepared for at least like a tornado coming through your area, an earthquake, a hurricane, all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. If you have that kind of stuff around, it's easy to go the next step. And then you go and you look around, you make that decision for you and your family, and you go to that point. And that's what you do. Your fear goes away, guys. I'm telling you, you'll find peace doing that. You really will. Because then you're not wondering what you should be doing. You've already done it. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. I hope everybody understands that. Schumann? Yeah, I can show you the Schumann real quick. That's kind of a strange looking little anomaly right there. It's not doing no big spiking, but that doesn't mean that it's not affecting us, because it is. When you see these little spikes, we get moody. I do. I'm really sensitive to this. Some people aren't so much, but I am. My ears ring when this thing's going crazy. My mood goes all nuts when it's going up and down real fast. People that don't know, this is the heartbeat of the earth. We have to have the 783 for our brains. That's what they tell us anyway. They will pump this frequency into the spacecrafts and to people that work underground so they don't go nuts. I'm not going to go too much more into the details of this right now, but just know that that's what this is. If you're having ringing in your ears, come over here and check this out. I'll put this in the... So there that is. If you guys want to access this tool yourself, just click on that link. You'll go there. Remember, this is also 432. I think that's the healing hurt level, I could be wrong. I'm not really sure on the number there. The 7.83 hurt is what we look for. It's always been here. As long as we've been here anyway. Right there. That's what our brains like, I guess, to keep us where we're at, I should say. I don't want to call it normal. I'm just going to call it whatever it was, right? There's a lot of theories and a lot of good information on this stuff. So, I would go check it out. Yeah, 432. I've heard that number a lot. Guys, we have to understand that everything's frequency. We really do. Everything that's frequency touches us. And that's because that's what everything is, really, pretty much. Okay? That's why I show you guys this every video. When this thing is all jacked up, we're all jacked up. Think about that for a second. So, yeah. So if you guys can go, check this out yourself and really do it. And research this subject on your own. I would. That's what I did. Verte, I show you guys, I point you guys over to his channel all the time. He goes into technical parts of this I don't understand completely yet. But he does explain even the basics, okay? And you can slow down his videos, pause it, watch it, and he'll explain it the way it needs to be explained. So I encourage people to go over there. There's other people that talk about it too, like Mike and Cindy over Evolutionary Energy Arts. They talk about it. I know Fifth World does too. I'm not sure if she's in here right now. I'm not sure if she's still running her channel or not. I haven't heard much from her lately. But she talks about it. Higher Realm Holistics. That's V down in Florida. She talks about this a lot too. And let me say this. You don't have to believe everything they believe to be able to still get good information here, okay? None of us are all going to believe the same way. Not 100%. We never will. And the second that we can accept that, we're really going to get, that's a big step for people. I've come to realize I don't have to be right. I just have to be looking in the right place to find the truth. That's it. And be willing to see it when I do see it. You can't let yourself get to a point where you're blocking everything off. Just because you don't like somebody's personality or you don't like their overall message or the way that they handle people or because I've been called names big time across the internet. Everybody knows that. That's just what happens when you do a channel. That's a simple fact. But guess what? I still subscribe to some of those channels. I still go there and I still watch their stuff sometimes because they do have some truth there, a lot of them. They just don't, for whatever reason, we don't agree on certain things and they couldn't accept that or they think I'm an idiot or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. That's not why I go there. I don't go there to be their friends. I go there to try to figure out what the truth is. I don't participate in stuff in the chat and stuff when I get over on those kinds of things because I don't need to. Because whatever I'm going to say in that chat or that comment or whatever, most likely isn't going to be positive. So I'm not going to do it. So I just sit back and I try to look at the information. If I find some truth there, I share it with you. At least in my opinion. That's what I try to do. That's the goal of what I do. And I know that people come at me. Okay, I get it. And they're always going to. So that's never going to stop. And that's why I love the mods here because they do a great job. And you guys, let me show you this. I'll show you guys this one more time. It's starting to fall off a little bit. But we still got 560 people in here right now. It got up to 836. Now I know that the title was probably what got that. Okay. I didn't mean for this to happen like this, but I was just sitting here and I had tried to access my Google account and I couldn't. Then my daughter comes out of her room. She was trying to get on Google Docs and it let her in. I'm talking within like 5 minutes. So I tried to log back in and sure enough, it let me in. So I happened to be like right here when it came back up. That's why I got out here so fast. It had nothing to do with anything else. So, yeah. That's what happened. D-Life having issues too? Maybe, yeah. Guys, listen. Anything that was linked to Google, any kind of Google accounts, any of that stuff was not working. If you tried to go in under your account name, it wasn't going to let you in. Now, I'm not sure exactly how long when it started or how long it did last, but the fact of the matter, it did happen, and that's what's going on. And I wanted to hop out here and let everybody know that it wasn't something severe. And, you know, even when I do that, even when I'm being like, not even going down the conspiratorial road, people still come in here and try to smack me around. It never ceases to amaze me that when I'm just trying to do something like that and try to be like a voice of reason in that instance and try to keep people calm, which is what I try to do most of the time anyway, they still come in here and do crazy stuff. I just don't understand it. They really just have hate for me, I guess. And for most of them, I've never even talked to them. And most of them, I leave them in here. I let them stay. But, you know, we couldn't do that today because of what was going on. Probably had a lot of people that had never been to my channel, and that's probably what happened. So, I hope you guys understand that. Anybody that's new, I appreciate you being here. I don't have any kind of degree, which you probably can tell by the way I'm talking. I just try to help, and I try to do it by the research that I've done and by, you know, doing what I've been taught from other people that were doing this, like Jeff P. He was in here. He might still be here. I learned a lot from Jeff, guys. Go check him out. Jeff, if you're still in here, bud, you can, anytime you guys want to put your channel links in there, you can. I don't think I need to say that. I think you guys know that, but anytime you guys want to do that, any of my mods and stuff, and you run channels, please put your links in there for them. Let them see it. We got to support each other. Okay? Yeah, Russell too. Guys, go check him out. Russell, drop your link, man. And again, let me say this first and foremost. We do not absolutely have to agree on everything. But one thing when we make mistakes is where we completely, just because of one belief somebody has, and we completely just disregard everything else they say because of that. That's a mistake. That is a mistake. Because I can tell you right now that if me and Russell were to sit down, we probably wouldn't agree on everything. If I sat down with Jeff P., we wouldn't agree with everything. But are we going to, like, be idiots to each other? No. We're still going to support each other because we do agree on something. Somewhere along the line. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand people that do that cancel culture crap. I don't get it. It's not good for anybody. I'm not going to spin any narrative, any kind of thing like that. I'm showing you guys observation and research. And the channels that I associate myself with are doing the same, mostly. And Hilly, guys, I mean, oh, I want to say something too here. Guys, thank you guys for going over and checking out Hilly Saturday. That was awesome. I'm sure he appreciates it. You know, when I made that post and I went over there and was listening to him, I couldn't chat a whole lot, but I heard almost everything he had to say. And, you know, if you guys are looking for a good Bible study, that's where that's at, guys. Okay? Saturdays is when he does it. I know his time frame's kind of changed around a little bit, but give him a chance. Go check him out. And that's what we got to do. We got to support each other. You don't have to agree with everything he says. You don't. What upset you today, J-Man? You can talk about it here. Go for it. J-Man's another channel, guys. Go check him out. Oh, you missed Hilly? Okay, cool. So guys, listen. That's what I'm saying. We got to support each other. J-Man does good time-lapse, too. Everybody is working on something. Knowledge, what's up? Yeah, see, knowledge was in there. See, guys, that's all. Listen, this is all it takes. You make a post to somebody that you're going to go watch their video, right? You post it out to everybody that's in your YouTube genre and share it. Okay? Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, there's Jeff's, okay? And if you do that, it gives people a chance to see them. Because not everybody's going to ignore that. They're going to go check it out. Some people will. And if we do that, we're going to find people that we like, that we connect with, that we can understand, that help us, and we can help them. And if we continue to do that for each other, And I like to give this example too. Mark Pyers. Most people know who Mark Pyers is here on my channel by now. But do you guys see me stop talking about him? No, you don't. Just like I'll never stop talking about Jeff and Hillbilly and Scott at Planet X News and everybody else. I will never stop talking about those guys because I believe in what they do. And I believe that they got good stuff. And I think we need to support each other. Do we always agree? No, we don't. But does that mean that we can't go anywhere? Watchwoman already did. I showed that a little bit earlier. Actually, I think it's still pulled up. Right here. Guys, yeah, and let me point this out one more time before we can move on. This right there, okay? That was a hit of about 25 or 30 proton density, okay? That means that normal is 4, so that's elevated, obviously, right? And then we move on, and then we get hit a second time. Right here. That hit was 172. Okay? Now, what I want to stress here is that if we get hit with something that's 172, our magnetics are going to react like this. This would be expected from a large hit. Okay? But this definitely is something that was like, whoa. Now, I know a lot of people are going to come out here and they're going to say this. Well, how come it didn't do anything here, geomagnetically? Well, I tried to explain that earlier. These are 3-hour average bar graphs, okay? If you only get one hit of 172 and everything else is at 2, 3, 4, all that stuff is going to average out really low. That simple. So that's why you see that not get up in here. Now, if you go up here, this is where you would see it. Do you see right? It says latest observed. If at that moment we were looking at this could have been yellow or whatever. We don't know. Because it's like a one data point latest observed observation of what we're seeing. So, you know, we look at all that kind of stuff and it is, you know, that's what we got to keep in mind. So I hope that helps people understand that. What were you saying there? Why are the IMF lines coming in from the back though? That's, you know, guys, that's a good question. I know there's a lot of theories, but, we have to understand we cannot see outside this rectangle. So let me say this. When we see them come in back here like this, we don't know. Let me explain this too. And I try to help people understand this the way that I do. So if we go here to when we got hit, you see the blue lines, that's our connection to the sun and other objects, right? Well, we can see how when that hits, it breaks these lines and they kind of go push out the back, right? Now, do you guys think that the solar wind or whatever hit us there was only inside of this rectangle box? It wasn't. It's a large area. So the IMF lines that look like they could be coming in from the back, you see what these are doing that are close by? How we can kind of see some of them go like this and kind of do this? Well, if we can't see what's going on down here or up here, the IMF lines could actually still be coming from in front, but they're looping around. Now, I'm not saying that happens all the time. I'm just saying we have to understand that that can happen. So just because we see it right here, we don't know. We can't see what's back here. We have no idea. Now, do I sometimes think that there's stuff going on back here? Absolutely. We can get stuff from the backside. We've seen it. Okay? But not every time we see an IMF line curl up back here doesn't necessarily mean it came from the back. It could have. But we also have to take into consideration that we can't see all sides of this past this rectangle box. That's all I'm saying. And there, and there's a lot of things that happen when we get hit. It will. Okay, let me read what you say there. It says no, but IMF means planetary, and they are teaching, and the black lines turn red. Why is it pulling on the North Pole? Well, like I said before, when we get hit, that's what we see. Look what happens here. Okay, let me show you something. We get hit, right? Boom. Yes, everything looks like it's getting all jacked up. That's because we got hit. Right there. Watch what happens. If you go further, look what happens. What's going on here? Everything's going back to normal. It's trying to. See how we're no longer getting like pulled in different directions right here? Because things are starting to calm back down. When we get hit, the magnetics get jacked up for a certain amount of time. That's just what happens. And yes, I do think that sometimes our pole lines will pull us. I agree with you there. I just think we have to understand that we need to take all of this into consideration. We can't just look at one side of it. We have to look at all of it. See how the IMF lines out in front now are trying to repair themselves? Because that's what happens. And then the pole lines, yes, they'll go back here and they'll get all whopper-jawed and all that kind of stuff. It happens quite often. But to say that it's coming from the back, let me show you something. I explained this a little earlier. When we look at this, and this is a good one to explain it on, I'm glad this happened because it really lets me explain this at a different level. Okay, so we get hit right here, right? Well, watch, woman. I actually agree with you on a lot of that, what you just said there. Okay, when they ball up like that, but we have to understand what's going on around it to cause it to ball up. Okay, and the other thing is that this isn't something that just started happening. You can take this graph, and I might do that here in a minute, and we'll go back 15 years, and we'll look at it and see what it's doing. And it's probably doing the same kind of stuff. Just saying. And that's what we can't forget that. We have to understand that this didn't just now start happening. It's been happening for a long time. So when we look at this, we see those things come together like that. That looks as if like something's coming from the back, right? If you just look at the colors. But you have to look at the lines. That's the direction of the solar wind flow. None of them are pointing to the right. All that this means is the density itself is coming together. They're starting to match. Is all that means. The wind direction never changed there. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with a lot of what you're saying because there are things happening when we get hit that they do look really crazy, and sometimes we see it when we don't get hit. That's when I really look at it because if we're having normal conditions, we don't. And I've said this a lot. If we don't see anything hit us from the front, something had to cause it, right? So that's kind of what I would say on that because we can go back here and we could probably find a couple instances where we didn't get hit in the front, but yet we're getting all jacked up And the line, what she's talking about here, guys, she's saying the truth. There's a lot of stuff back here that is going on. It's kind of crazy. But when I look at this one, I'm only talking about this specific hit, because when we get hit like that, this is really what we would expect to see. And, you know, she's talking about the red lines or the closed field lines and the black ones kind of flipping around. And I've talked about that before, too, and she's watched me a lot. That's why she knows what to look for. So that's what it is. And, you know, it shows that she's paying attention. It shows that she's trying to learn. And it shows that she is talking about the right stuff. She knows that she's not just coming in here dropping an opinion or anything like that. She's talking about stuff. And this is what we do. This is what I like to do, because it's not disrespectful. She's at, you know, even if we don't agree on whatever we're talking about, which I think we kind of are agreeing here, but if we don't, it is what it is. Yeah, I kind of seen that a little bit a minute ago, Mr. Goody. See that, guys? We just had a flare that got up in the lower C class. So that is, we'll probably see that. Check this out. I bet we'll see it right now. Hold on. Let me show you. Well, maybe. We'll see. Let me reload that. Yep. See it? That's a flare, guys. We just got hit with a flare. Look where it's at. That's funny. Well, that makes sense, though. It does. That down here is the eclipse. But if a flare is going to hit during an eclipse, think about it. It has to hit on the day side, right? So if a flare ever happens during an eclipse, it's going to happen really close to where the eclipse happened. So, yeah. So the flare, we just had a flare. Right there. You're seeing it. They may get a little stronger than what it's showing here, too. I don't know yet. We'll have to wait. It's funny. I'm laughing at this point. I mean, what the heck? Whatever. Wow. Yeah, and that's the South Atlantic anomaly. Right over top of it. But, again, we have to understand that the x-rays we get from the flare, the initial blast, gets here and gone, like I said, in about 8.5 minutes. So it only hits on the day side. So right now, that's the day side. If this would have happened 10 hours from now, it would have been over here. So, I don't think it had anything to do with the eclipse. I don't think it had anything to do with the South Atlantic anomaly. The sun just blew a flare, and it just happened to be in that position. But that doesn't, negate the fact that could compound issues if there are any. I don't think that there are right now, not that I'm seeing or hearing. But that is over the South Atlantic anomaly. That is where the eclipse is happening right now, right down through here. That's funny. Sorry. I ain't trying to laugh at that. It just... That's very current right here, guys. This is like almost real time. We'll have to wait and see next time it updates. So... yeah, it's 2020, guys. What can you expect? That's kind of where everybody's at with everything, I think. What we could do, let's see if we can't see the flare when it blows off the sun. Let's see if we can't find it. You guys are going to watch me do this. That way you guys can go here and do it yourself. So what you do is you go there to ISWA, click on that movie tool right there. There it is right there, guys. I can tell you right now. I've seen it too many times. We'll let it load here just for a second. Now, this isn't going to be as up to date as what we just seen. It never is. This is usually a little bit behind. So if I take it here, yeah, you're seeing the beginnings of that flare right here. Watch right there on where my cursor is. See that? When we go a few more minutes in time, that's going to flare right there. It already is right there. It's starting to. That's why you see that bright region. So in the next half hour, if anybody wants to come back and look at this, you're probably going to see a flare coming right from there. And the mistake I see a lot of people making is they'll see stuff like this and they'll jump out here real quick and be like, oh gosh, sky's falling. Well, I used to do that at the beginning of my channel, and I stopped doing it under the guide of, a lot of people, including Scott, telling me, hey dude, have some patience. Back off a little bit. And every time I've backed off, it's worked out better. Just wait for more data to come in. There's nothing we can do about it anyway, okay? There's no warning I could give you that would even help you on this. That's why I'm trying to say. We need to talk about the precursor stuff if we want to look at what can help us do things before these things happen. That's why it's important to prepare. That's it. That's why. This is exactly why. Because we will not get any warning for any kind of big flare. It's here and gone in 8 minutes. Well, 8.2, I think, or something like that. But a lot of times when you see these, you'll get a CME right with it, right behind it, okay? And they'll blast our direction. So we'll just have to understand that, you know. So there it is. And, yeah. I guess we'll just drop it right there. I don't know what else to say here, guys. But, you know, it's a good thing to look at. But just know we can't really do a whole lot with it. So there you go. But yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate that, guys. So, anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and end it here. I wasn't really planning on doing any of this. So thank you, guys. Support everybody else. You know, go to their channels. Give them some likes, some love. Thanks to everybody that stopped in. And, you know, I wish I could stay here all day, but I can't, guys. I got, you know, I'm going to try to take care of some things today. So, yeah. So, I love everybody here. God bless. Thanks for everybody that stopped in, the subscribers, the mods. Thank you for all the hard work you had to do today. Sorry that happened to you guys, but I didn't mean for it to. But anyway, so yeah. God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.